Welcome to episode 385 of In Touch with iOS, the show that talks about iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Apple TV, Vision Pro, Mac, and related technologies. And I'm your host, Dave Ginsburg, and we have a great panel this week. First off, Marty Jencius is here. Thanks for being here, Marty. How you doing?
This is the best thing I could do to interrupt my day. I mean, my day has been terrible, and for all sorts of reasons, I won't go into it. But this is great. I enjoyed being here tonight.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. And Ben Roethig is here. How you doing, Ben? Welcome.
I am doing great, and I'd like to thank everybody who's watching this instead of the NFL kickoff tonight.
Yeah, I'm missing the NFL
You made a good
kickoff,
choice.
but thank you for you all being here. And last but certainly not least, Jill McKinley is here. How you doing, Jill?
Oh, I'm doing great. Last week was brutal, but this week is better, so
Great.
I'm excited. And it is also fall, so I'm happy about
All
that.
right. So we're doing episode 2 here of using Ecamm Live. Still working through some of the kinks. This is a new profile, or I don't know why I keep calling it profile. It's really a scene, but and having some fun with this. So you'll be seeing some creative ways to present to you guys tonight. This is the weekend before the big, huge Apple event on September 9th. We'll be talking about that a little bit. There's beta was dropped, and we were completely by surprise. So we'll talk about that a bit, as well as some Mac and other news topics, as well as going through that as well. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, in touch with Vision Pro this week. There wasn't a lot to talk about on the fact that Apple did release visionOS 26 Beta 9. And Marty, you did a great review of it on Vision Profiles. There ain't much going on, right?
Not really. Not for users that much. You're going to see some accessibility section in the store, which is really kind of cool. So now apps in the App Store will have ratings around accessibility, and it will give folks an idea of if there are accessibility needs or differences with it. You can also share a window from People View. So you can tap nearby and share it with folks around you, or invite them to be able to invite FaceTime callers to join in. Mac Virtual Display looks cleaner. They've done some stuff with Safari. And for developers, now you're not going to see there's some technical stuff that I put in the show notes for developers. 3D charts land in Swift cards. Expect true 3D data views in visionOS. So developers who want to add a 3D portion into their app in visionOS, they'll be able to do it much easier with 3D charts in Swift. So that's about it. There's no Jupyter environment yet.
What's up with that?
Still problems with persistence, meaning if I put an app open and then close down my headset and come back in, that app should still be open as part of the persistence, but that's not occurring with everybody. And still some widget anchoring, how you can put widgets on walls and flat surfaces. Some folks are still having problems with that. So,
but not much else news for the Vision Pro this week beyond that. So we're just going to go ahead and move on, and let's talk about beta this week. iOS 26 Beta 9 was released for the iPhone. The upcoming software is going to be delivering the stunning new design, powerful Apple Intelligence capabilities, and the new way to stay connected in the phone and messages app. We've been talking about a lot of this stuff, and it's gone through a lot of iterations, but it looks like there is nothing much, and I think we're pretty much ready to jump and have it ready to go here and talk about it's coming next week. There's got to be something coming here, so definitely something to check out. So, Marty, what do you? Let me start with Ben. How's been your experience so far?
Oh, I thought you said Marty.
I'm sorry, I tongue-tied. Sorry about that. Ben, go ahead.
It's been pretty good. Seeing Beta 9 was actually kind of a surprise. I kind of expected it to be the RC this week. Dave from Zolotech said this is the first time in like 7 years there's been a Beta 9.
Yeah,
But
long
I mean,
time.
especially with the event coming up, uh, I would be very surprised if there's another beta at this point. This was just kind of cleaning up stuff.
Yeah. Jill, what you've been experiencing? You've been using the beta, right?
Yeah, it's all been good. iPads and iPhones all been good, and I've been impressed with it. Like I said, I didn't notice. I don't want to say I didn't notice the interface, but I noticed it. But it feels a little bit better. I'm liking it a little bit better. And you're right, we can't go up there and have a blue screen of death in front of a million people. So got to get it right.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And Marty, what was been your experience?
It's just been crisper. I've noticed, the design, the glass that everybody was complaining about, liquid glass. People are still going to complain about it because they don't like the look of it.
Yeah.
But frankly, it's much easier to navigate and much easier to see visually. So they've done some corrections in clarity in that and given it sort of a dimensional feel. So the buttons are kind of pop out because of the glass mode. That thing that they showed you, at WWC, where it looked like somebody was pushing a drop of water around the surface, that has that feel, that has that look when you with the latest versions.
Yeah. So not much else to say. Really, like I said, we're at the home stretch here for sure. I would anticipate we would see a release candidate coming out probably just before this, maybe tomorrow. Who knows, or maybe even Monday before the event. That's probably a possibility too, because usually that's what's going to end up coming out. So definitely something to look at there. Beta 9 also came out for iPad OS, tvOS 26, and watchOS 26. Again, they really didn't do much with that either. There isn't really much to say with those either. We're just waiting patiently to find when it gets released, and we want to start getting used to it. As I've mentioned, I've been using it on my main iPad, and I've been loving it, especially with the Windows. Being able to put 4 or 5 windows together and very easy to snap them in place, and all the great things you're able to do with that. So that's great. That's great to have that as well. And that is really what we're really at here at this point when it comes to when it comes to this. So we will see where we go here when it comes to those releases. Couple notes with iOS 26. The import and export Markdown files in Apple Notes is now available. It's in beta. This is has gained a new Markdown support, letting you seamlessly import and export files in the popular plain text format language. Whether you're a developer, writer, or content creator, this long-awaited feature should bridge the gap between your existing Markdown workflow and Apple's native note-taking app. If you're not familiar with Markdown, it's a simple way of writing that uses plain text symbols like the stars or the bold or the pound for headings, those kind of things. So, anybody tried this in Notes yet with this?
I haven't tried it, but I just completely get excited about Notes. It's sat on it. They didn't do much with it for a while. In the last couple of years, they have just been it. And I mentioned this, I think, on Chuck's show. Notes is kind of my go-to thing now. That's the thing that I know I can pick up any device and it's there. And now that it's got Markdown, I'm not a big Markdown person, but I know a lot of people are. And so that just adds a benefit to that particular Apple app.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean that's really what it all is here. So as far as that goes, and another thing that I discovered was the fact there's some new Apple Wallet features. They're going to be doing with boarding passes. That using digital boarding passes on the iPhone has become a commonplace for everybody, but after years with no changes to the feature, it's about to get an upgrade with Apple's Wallet. Boarding passes has several handy new features. This is a whole other reason to use this now. So, with most of the new features in the Wallet app, which is soon to offer more car key vehicle brands, or AI-powered order tracking, U.S. passport support, and full credit card details, and more. The big change is going to be and when we use our boarding passes for flights inside Apple Wallet, iOS 26, and those passes will offer 3 new features: live activities, airport maps, and luggage tracking with Find My. Live activities will be an asset on travel days, but only certain airline apps are going to support it right now, and the features will vary from one airline to the other. But in iOS 26, Apple is baking in live activity support into the Wallet app for boarding passes. This way, you can get a consistent experience with no matter what and how tech forward or not the airline app is. So one of the nice touch of these live activities is the fact that it's going to be easily shareable. You'll be able to send one to a friend or a family member who needs to track your flight. Additionally, boarding passes will now show more information with viewing the pass itself. So a couple of those changes are great. What everybody's thoughts on this? Joe, what do you think?
I used the credit cards information, and I really liked it. I really liked that I could see everything, because it gets annoying to just log into everything all the time, and so I like that. The old me who traveled a lot would have really enjoyed the wallet feature, and so I'm pretty excited about that as well. But you're right. I think it's nice that they're doing something with it, and something that's uniquely wallet, that you feel it's safe. It feels like it, is not some federated into some Yahoo Finance thing. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, me too. Marty, you travel a fair amount. What do you think on this?
I'm flying tomorrow, and I think this is great. I mean, I have put my boarding passes in Apple Wallet. And it's some airlines, it's difficult to, okay, you got to get into their app. You got to, either sign in on their website, but then you have to find that magic button where it says share with your Apple Wallet. And once that's done, I never need to use the app again. Part of my job is to pick up my son every time he goes to the airport. So, these kinds of live activities where I can see where his flight is and how it's tracking, it also comes in very useful for traveling. Yeah. So I'm excited about this. Have been using it.
Good. Yeah, that's good to hear. And Ben, what do you think is going to happen?
A couple thoughts here. First, look, I've had those flights where your gate literally changes about a dozen times, and you're running around O'Hare.
Yep.
Like you're in some kind of John Hughes movie. So if this works, thank you, Apple. That said, some of the other wallet additions, like order tracking, have not been so accurate so far. So I'm kind of waiting to see how it does in the real world.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. It's going to be something interesting to see where this goes. I'm excited to see what the Apple comes up with this, and it's going to make life very, very easy. So let's move on and talk about this in type of Mac this week. Well, Mac OS Tahoe 26 Beta 9 is out, plus the public betas are out as well. So they're going to be contrary to expectations, Apple is rolling out a new wave of developer betas ahead of next week's dropping event. And then within past releases, Tahoe 26 Beta 8 brought some mostly under the hood improvements last week, which was also expected from today's release. That was this week. We've talked about all kinds of new things that are in here. The system's getting a games app and also the journal app. We talked about that. And you go through and update it. I've been running it on my work computer, which has been great. It's been kind of cool to be able to launch that. So it's really a cool thing here to see. And I want to get everybody else's experience with this. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, it's been great so far. I'm running beta 8 right now. I'm going to be updating as soon as this show is over. But I mean, of all of them, I think Tahoe has had the least amount of visual changes.
Yeah. How about you, Joe?
I had one bug with, so I upgraded my very last thing in this house that wasn't on 26, which is my production for podcast machine. And I had one bug where Final Cut Pro was crashing the first time you opened it, and then you opened it again and it was fine. And that went away in this last patch. So I was glad about that, but it's great and I love it. And I'm glad I went early on it. But you shouldn't do it if it's your production machine. You should stay away.
Do not. No. I did do it with my MacBook Air that I travel with, and it's my secondary machine, so I felt comfortable enough to do that. So that's a good thing. It shouldn't be a problem. So, but yeah, do not put it on your production machine. But I'm already testing at work, so we were brave enough to do that. So we're we're the guinea pigs and test it before it gets rolled out to the rest of the users. So but when it gets this deep into the beta cycle, I think you're pretty safe at this point. But again, don't do it if you are going to be worried about your production machine here. All right, let's talk about the Apple event that's coming up next week. I wanted to kind of just go through some of the articles here, as well as some of the props are probably anticipating going to be launching this year, and I think iPhone 17, assuming that's what they're going to call it, is going to take center stage next week at the event. And the rumor suggests the company may release some other products. So there's been discussion about the Apple Watch, the Ultra 3 and the Series 11. I am so tempted again, Ultra. I know you have one, Jill, right? And but you must love that watch. I'm stuck with the regular watch for all these years, and I'm tempted.
I have to say, my brother and I both bought one at the same sale. They were getting rid of the Ultra ones, and I thought, well, I just want to give it a shot because I want to go hiking with it, and I love it, and I won't go back. Yeah,
I would agree with that.
But I have little tiny wrists, so I worry.
Yeah, you got a big giant watch on that wrist of yours. So what are everybody's thoughts on this? So with the iPhone 17, we can start with that. I'm an upgrader every year, as everybody, I think most people know. I'm in part of the upgrade program with Apple. I've been with it for since its inception, actually, a long time ago. So I'll be going with the 17 Pro Max. I'm not even going to mess around. I know people are going to be enticed to wanting to get the rumor of the iPhone 17 Air. I think we'll see what happens. What's your thoughts on the iPhones? Where we're going to be with the next iPhone, Ben?
I'm expecting just kind of a spec bump, excuse me. Except for the 17 Air, which should be kind of a preview of where we're going. I'm not in a position to upgrade right now, but I mean, if you're from a 14 or 15, this is going to be a pretty good year to upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, Marty, I know you're going to be upgrading, so it's definitely something you're going to do. What are you going to do this next year with the 17?
I don't know, because frankly, unless the Ultra can cook dinner and do dishes, I'm not sure it's worth me getting a new watch. Unless there is more kind of biometric types of things and health related things in it, but I don't see that coming down the road. I don't see it in this. It just feels like it's going to be a spec bump. With the phones, I'm really confused because I like to have the latest phone. So yeah, I'll probably get the iPhone 17 Pro Max because of the spatial photography and spatial video, which ties into Vision Pro, the Vision Pro headset.
Yeah.
The thing is, I'm really curious about the 17 Air. I'm just real curious about the form factor, the weight that's associated with it, but it takes all the spatial photography stuff out of it with one camera. There's nothing that you can do to effectively. So I've got a 16E right now, and I've got a 16 Pro Max, and I might be trading them both in. Who knows?
Ooh, look at that. I'm with you. I have the
Super.
16E as well as the 16 Pro Max. So I'm gonna hold on to the 16E because I like it having it's a nice current iPhone that I can use to do any testing. I feel like.
Yeah, I use it more than I use my 16 Pro Max. Just it's easy to carry around. It's the problem is I wind up having to shift my when I go from one to another, I've got to shift my watch from one to another. So yeah.
So we've got the Apple Watch. The Series 11 is potentially going to be out. It's I don't know. From the rumors, they said I would think that they're going to be joining us with the new iPhone, and I'm seeing where that's going to go. So I'm going to be excited to see where that goes. And we're going to see where this really goes here, and we're going to go through and go through here and do this. But before we continue on, though, I want to bring in. She's here. She's back. Kelly Guimont. How you doing, Kelly?
Hey, hi everybody. I'm super excited to be
Hi,
here.
Kelly.
We finally, I did not have a standing plan on a Thursday night. So,
Okay.
for once, it didn't conflict with anything. So,
I'm so glad you're here. We're just digging into the Apple event coming up next week. Have you had a chance to look at what's going on in that area and what anything was interesting to you?
well, the new phone, I've gotten not less interested, but less, I guess, confident about what's coming next, because what's going to be the most super amazing thing that they're going to be able to do? There was a lot of revolution, at least initially, with a lot of those things, like when the phones got bigger, and when you could buy stuff with your phone, when Apple Pay made its debut, and that kind of thing. There were a lot of kind of great big features, and then the evolution of those features, Touch ID, Face ID, those kinds of things. And so what I'm wondering about now is like I'm more curious about what are they going to do next to make it something that everybody's going to want to buy. But I can't figure out what would be as impactful. So I'm sort of I feel like my expectations maybe aren't as high, because it's not like, oh, well, there's all these other things that iPhones could do that they don't do now. And so that's kind of where I'm at with most of those. I'm always interested. I'm more curious, and I know that this isn't always on the same upgrade cycle, but the new watch. I'm on a Series 7 because I really like the blood oxygen metering on that. So I've been clinging to that pretty strongly. But it's getting a little creaky. It's starting to show its age. I sleep with mine on because having a gentle tap on the arm as an alarm instead of some sort of giant obnoxious sound every morning is such a much more civilized way to wake up. So I appreciate that so much more. So I have my watch on all the time. And even if I give it a nice big charge in the morning, it doesn't always last all the way through the day. So I'm most interested in that, especially with the evolution on that allegedly coming back. That there may be some way that blood oxygen monitoring is going to return, because that's sort of why I've been holding on to the 7 as long as I have.
Oh, it kind of did. The Apple was able to work around it. So now they send the oxygen data to the health app, so you have to go on the iPhone to look at it. So you still can see it, but it's not the convenience of how the 7, 8, and 9 has it right on the watch. So because of the Massimo suit, they couldn't do that. That's what they were barred against using anymore. But I'm with you too.
Mhm.
I stayed with the 9. I didn't upgrade to the 10. So, but I think I'm it's getting long in the tooth for me too. This going on. When the 9 came out a year or two ago. So, we'll see. Uh, uh, we'll see where it goes with that. But it seems everybody's here has tried it, and it didn't break it when we updated to the latest OS of watchOS. So everybody was okay.
Yeah.
So um,
Yeah. I feel like that's where there might be the most to do as the watch has continued to get more capable and more independent as a device on its own. That's been the thing I've been more interested in watching, because I think there's still a lot more room for big changes to be made there.
Yeah, exactly. So we were talking about the watch and the iPhone. I don't think the iPad's going to be out. This event tends to not be the iPhone to come out, iPad to come out, but the rumors have been swirling about. I think they're still waiting for the M5 processor to come out with that, and I've got the M4, and I'm not going to upgrade. I mean, I've kind of held back on it and not really have used it. Uh, I've always held back for a few years with the iPad. I'm okay with that. So, I think we're okay with that. But the Vision Pro, I'm curious to see where that's going to go, or where that's going to go. Artie and I always been talking about it on Vision Profiles. Maybe they'll put an M4, possibly an M5. Will it get announced next week? I don't think so. What do you think, Marty?
I don't know. I wish they'd just tell me, are you guys going to do this before the end of the
I
year?
know.
Because that changes my whole expense thing. Okay, so forget the watch. We'll put that money into that, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
I'm a little afraid that they will do the spec bump. I'm probably interested in the spec bump just because of the podcast, and to see what new adventures it'll bring, if it's more Apple Intelligence or a better integration of Apple Intelligence. But yeah, I don't think they're going to announce that at this next week.
I'd be really surprised. I would be really surprised about that. When it comes to the Apple TV now, the 4K is at the 4th gen right now. That's the rumored one that's going to be coming out. Boy, it's really long in the tooth when it comes to. It's been out for 3 years now. In fact, I just had to replace 4 of them at my office because they got bricked because of our MDM. So, and lost Wi-Fi connection. You live and learn not having ones with an Ethernet connection. So that that's what that goes. So, but supposedly they're going to have the Wi-Fi 7 support. Maybe a built-in FaceTime camera has been rumored in a future Apple TV, but no way. I don't think that's going to be coming out. Anybody have thoughts on the Apple TV?
My only thought about it is I keep hearing people discuss about how high powered it is, and of course it is. And wouldn't it be nice if they turned it into a mini gaming console? And I think about that, like if they bump it up and then they allow it to be a gaming console, then that would be a reason for me to upgrade.
Yeah. Marty, you don't even use the Apple TV
I run
that much,
a home for the crazy theory. Come sit by me.
Yeah.
Because I love that theory. I want very much, and I always have. I've always wanted the Apple TV to be more than it is.
Yeah.
Because of the potential, because they put those big processors in there, because they give so much horsepower to a device that just sits there. And it's never really been, like, realistically, it's never been more than the stick you can get from other services, a Roku or a Fire TV stick or a Chromecast kind of a thing. It's never had a whole lot more functionality than that, and it doesn't seem like there's been a lot of appeal to put a great bit to put games in that way. To put a lot of resources into something like that and let people really have some giant beautiful game on there. Like, it never has to compete with a PlayStation or an Xbox and be a dedicated gaming thing, but it could. There's so much more opportunity, I think, there for something like gaming on the TV. But what I would really like is if they finally peeled it apart and we got like the Apple TV Air or the Apple TV Mini, whatever you want to call it, that is the stick. Because I've tilted at this windmill for these many years, as both David and Ben could probably attest. There should be a stick. It should be like $59 so that it's not the cheap $50 thing because it's Apple and you got to pay the Apple tax, right? So give me the little stick that I can travel with and take with me everywhere, because I know a lot of people who travel with an Apple TV. Make it so it doesn't have to be the whole entire thing. So one of those, and then take the slabby version that we've got now, because that 4K one is a chunky boy. Take that and give it a little more juice and make it something that can really make a difference and do more than just be the secret the secret home hub that you need to have at your house or something, and give it a chance to really shine. And I think there is a huge opportunity there that continues to be missed for that reason.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see where it goes. I don't anticipate. I probably the way the Apple's track record with this has always been they just ignore it. You don't hear anything about it. Maybe they'll just do a press release when it comes out. Something like that. I've seen that many times for that. So, HomePods, the HomePod Mini. It's been long in the tooth since the Mini. It's been out at least almost 3 years now. The HomePod, the full size HomePod's been a couple years too. So, is it going to get a newer chip? Is it going to have better Bluetooth support, improved sound quality? We don't know. I don't think there's really much else to say about HomePod because it always seems to be getting ignored lately anyway. So I think the AirTags definitely, I think, are way, way overdue for replacements and coming up with much longer item tracking. I would hope they do better with the battery life because I'm tired of busting my fingers to get those things apart to get the darn that battery out. Yeah, I mean, my hands are bad enough as it is. I can't do it. And I say, I'm with Jeff Gammett. I says, hey, Jeff, can you do this for me? He does it in 2 seconds because he's obviously done it a few times. So I hope they improve that design, but yeah, it's definitely way overdue. I hope they announce something. The other thing I'm excited about, I think, is potentially going to happen is the AirPods. The AirPods Pro 3 is going to come out. They're going to update the design, increase noise cancellation, and heart rate monitoring. So you might even be able to do that with your AirPods as well as your watch to do that. And then lastly, a Studio Display 2, that's way overdue as well, but I don't think that's going to probably happen until later this year or maybe next year. So
no, that's going to come with the Mac.
Yeah, the Mac. They're going to wait for the Mac to come out with it. So, but the event's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. We'll be on. I'll be on anyway with Mike Potter and for Mac Guys Only on the Tuesday. Always reacting to the announcements on the Reaction Time episode. So come check that out next week. I'd always take it off. It's a holiday for me, so I take the day off. So it's always a lot of fun to check that out. Anybody else that's on anything for the event rumors that I missed that might have caught your eye? All right.
I think the Maxes, like new AirPod Max, I think is one that's supposed to, like, every once in a while that bubbles up again that it's going to get revised, and not just USB-C charging, like an actual revision. I would like to see that because it's been long enough, but that because it's so much higher end, both in price and in function. I feel like that's probably maybe that's something that gets paired with like an iPad event or if the watch gets its own kind of separate thing, like something like that maybe. But I would be curious about that. I wish the Apple TV would get more attention than it's going to. But yeah, I don't know that they would fold any of that other stuff in unless they threw something in about like, AirTags also come in black now or something. Like, I don't think it's going to be, because it's like all phone all the time with this one. Like, we've been through enough of these to know that that's where it's at.
Yeah. Funny you mentioned the AirPods Max. We were going to talk about, I moved it up here. The biggest complaint about the AirPods Max over the years has been how the steep price or which chip Apple puts inside, but the lack of wireless charging. Unfortunately, there's going to be an elegant solution to solve this problem. It's finally arrived. Mophie. I love Mophie. Mophie's been always my battery case of choice for so many years. And they've now introduced the Max charging stand. It's $150. Accessory that specifically gives the AirPods Max a proper wireless charging solution. The stand combines the magnetic USB-C charging adapter with a weighted aluminum base, putting the AirPods Max into sleep mode while charging and keeping them on display instead of buried in a case or a bag. Well, I would rather have Apple's built-in MagSafe. I agree. Charging it directly into future AirPods Max is going to be a good thing to do. This stand will also charge the AirPods too, which is great. Marty, you said you have this, or did you buy it already? Or it's waiting to be
No.
on the market?
No,
it's on the market.
I have another one that I have. My AirPods are sitting right over here being charged. Little things that you plug into the charging ports, and then you drop it in magnetically, and then it does the charging that way.
Okay.
And I love Mophie products, but they also are they're often priced on the high end for what they do. But there are chargers for the stand chargers for AirPods AirPods Pro have been around for quite some time. And I think you actually turned me on to the one that I'm using. You suggested it.
My wife, I bought her a pair of the AirPods Max. She loves them, but unfortunately, they're the Lightning version, so this obviously won't work for her. But I came up with a good solution. She puts it on a stand, the bra's on there, and you just plug the charger in.
That's the complaint. That is the complaint that most people have about the AirPods. It's how do you carry them? You see people on planes with them, and it's like they're not that foldable. They're not that comfortable. It's a mess.
You put them in the bra.
Hard to travel with. I've attempted, and it's not comfortable. It's weird to leave them around your neck sideways, like if you had just taken them off your ears. If you lay them flat against your neck, that still feels weird because the neckband is still really high. They are glorious to wear whilst sitting in a seat upon a plane. However, the rest of getting them to fit in your bag, getting them to fit around your neck, and all of that is kind of difficult. So,
yeah, it is. So that's one of the cool things here is you're going to have that as far as that goes. Wanted to make sure I mentioned the chat room here this tonight, that youtube.com/intouchwithios. It's had a number of great comments in here. Great to see Webb in the chat. He says, "Hey kid, this Kelly person looks vaguely familiar."
I might be familiar with her.
I am too. I'm so glad you're here. And Cletus says, trying not to spend too much money as the year ends. Yeah, that's really hard for us Apple fans here. Cletus says he still wants to see Mr. Kelly pop up one day. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could change.
It will not.
Yeah, I thought so. And with a Rocket, great to see you. I would like the HomePod to replace the Echo, and I've had not used it in ages. Okay. And then Kelly, thanks for being in the chat and saying having fun. Hi to everybody. It's so great to see everybody excited that you're back, and I'm excited too. So let's move on to some of the other topics. Astropad makes a wonderful rock paper scissors, and that's a great thing that I'm sure Kelly uses. That you can use it and makes it feel like you're using writing on an actual piece of paper, and puts it on your iPad. Well, they did announce that today with this the launch of a new protector called Fresh Coat. It's a new anti-reflective screen protector that's designed to make the iPhone easier to see outdoors under bright lights. It's a glass screen protector that cuts down up to 75% of reflection while preserving color accuracy. And they were able to try this up at the launch, before the launch, and indeed it does help the reflection. And the article just shows how it looks, and yeah, it does look like it's doing great. Supposedly it's going to be on for the iPhone 17 Pro models, which I'm going to wait. I might be intrigued to get this because I usually don't use screen protectors, but this could entice me. Would this be something you want, Marty?
Yeah, first of all, I like Astropad and the products they use. I think Jeff Gamet turned me on to them, and I have put them on both of my iPads, and I just love the texture on it. I have one on 3 of my iPads. I have it on my iPad mini. And so I'm looking forward to this product, really looking forward to this product.
There it is.
And will probably get that as soon as I can because I use screen protectors on my phone. And the thing is that I've had a few drops where it's broken the screen protector and hasn't broken my screen, and that works enough for me that it's worth having a protector on it. Now, I don't know if this is going to create any structural protection to a device having it on, but it's I don't know if it's going to be made out of Gorilla Glass or something like that, but I'm interested in this product. I just have to decide which damned iPhone 17 I'm going to get.
Yeah, and it's going to be a tough decision there to where it goes. Ben, Jill, would this be something you might get on your iPhone?
Yeah, I've always wanted to get the rock, paper, scissors one, and I just haven't. So I'm trying to teach myself how to draw on my iPad, and so that would be nice. I have heard good things about their product. Now, I bought the iPhone 14, and immediately the next day brought it camping and dropped it in the rock pile at our campsite and scratched it. And so this year I might do the screen protector. I never usually do, but I had a boss at a company, and he's like, I don't understand these people with screen protectors and cases on them. Just the phone is meant to be sleek. And I'm like, you're the owner of a $5 million company. The rest of us are not going to buy phones every time we drop them in a rock pile. So, yeah.
Marty, I'm Ben. Go ahead.
I'm currently on Astropad's Amazon store as we speak, and as soon as this shows up on it, I'm going to be pressing buy now.
Yeah, I think me too.
Ben, I'm going to tell you not to wait because if you go to the Astropad website, if you're in the chat, you can go to astropad.com and they have a 20% launch discount.
Yeah, it's down to $27.99, I think it was. I probably should buy it just because they do say they have it for the 17. I just don't. I'm worried. I worry that I buy it and then I want to max. Is it going to fit?
Yeah, that's the problem.
I don't have that
and
problem.
which phone am I
I'm on a
buying?
15 Pro, so I've got at least another year before I have to buy anything. So I can get one now.
Yeah.
I don't know which phone I'm buying yet. So.
Great stuff. Like this is the other thing about it is that Astropad makes they make interesting things. The name may not sound familiar, or if it rings a faint bell, it might be because they did Luna Display, which before it was something that was built into Mac OS. You would get this little gizzy. I have one in a drawer over there. You would get this little gizzy you could plug into the side of your Mac, and then bam, your iPad was a second display. There are still a lot of opportunities to use something like that easily because it will work with Windows as well. So if you want the same kind of continuity experience with an iPad, you can use your iPad as the second screen on a Windows machine as well with this little majigger, I believe is the technical term. And they're reasonably priced. They're well designed. Their documentation is easy to follow. Like all of the things about all of the stuff that they have. I too was turned on to rock, paper, pencil specifically by Jeff Gamet because he had one on his iPad mini. I am terrible at drawing. If I drew a stick figure, I would still have to tell you what it is. But I do a lot of writing things with my pencil. Like I use a digital planner on my iPad. I mark things up for music stuff that I work on. And so being able to have that nicer experience with the pencil to paper kind of experience with feel of what this does, and I can peel it off if I want to. That was the magic of rock paper pencil, is it's not a permanent thing. So if you want to watch TV in full shiny screened glory, you just peel the protector off because it's magnetic, and now you're back to watching Days of Our Lives or whatever it is that you were watching on your iPad before you were writing everything down.
Oh, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
All right, we got. Let me got a couple more things here. Well, I can't forget this one. I built this up for Marty.
Today's show
Apple
is brought to you
patents.
by Astropad.
Yeah, we need to get a sponsorship.
Hint, hint.
Apple patents a next generation taptic engine. Apple has been granted a patent for a shock resistant taptic engine design that aims to significantly improve the durability of future iPhones, Apple Watches, and other devices. The patent title is Electronic Device Having a Shock-Resistant Haptic Engine. It was granted by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office earlier this week, and I think this is on Patently Apple. I'll link to both places for that. And the proposed system introduces a haptic engine that's going to use a system of non-linear convoluted that brings it to protection of delicate internal components from damage caused by drops and collisions. The design incorporates springs with varying thickness and chambered edges, enabling them to respond softly to minor impacts while stiffening under heavy loads to absorb the distributed force on this. So Marty, did you take a look at the patent Apple and any other comments on this?
Yeah, I did. It's a patent, so we don't know when it'll emerge,
Right.
if it will emerge. But, as soon as it emerges, I think we all need to throw our brand new iPhones against the wall and
No.
see if this fixes the problem.
Yeah. And Ben, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, it sounds cool. Whatever makes it to a real product.
That is true. That is true. How about you, Kelly?
I'm curious why this specific, like they have a haptic engine already. So what does the shockproof bring to it? Because this is obviously, we're not going to see it in the form it's in now, but what is it that makes the shockproof of it the thing that they needed to patent is the part I want to know about.
I can only imagine it's something like shocks on a car, that when you hit a bump, it smooths it out. So that reduces the potential for structural damage because you've got something that is, but I just can't imagine. I just can't, and they talk about gentle drops. I don't think it'll work if we throw our iPhones against the wall.
So this is an Apple Car patent, is what you're saying, Marty?
Yeah. That's...
And let me just say hello to Brian Chaffin, who somewhere looked off in the distance and is smiling to himself, and he's not sure why. That was why. Hi, Brian. Yeah. That was the thing about it I was curious about, is what application would a shockproof version of this have for you? Like, I'm just thinking of like an OtterBox case or something that can it's smart enough to tell, right? And then do something so that you don't damage your phone or whatever. But
okay, what about this? I'm making up something. They put it on the watch, and you get in a car crash, and you're knocked dizzy, and your watch is like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And then it starts tap-ticking you to wake up. Now. Okay, I just made something up. I don't know.
Well, I told you I run a home for exactly that kind of theory. I could see it maybe being a watch thing somehow. But that might be fun. I'm gonna think on that. See what I can come up with.
Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Apple is planning to get into AI by buying or maybe even powering web search tools for S-Lady, rival OpenAI, and Perplexity. This is article Mark Gurman at Bloomberg. Apple is planning to launch its own artificial intelligence-powered web search tool next year, stepping up competition with OpenAI and Perplexity. The company is working on a new system dubbed internally as World Knowledge Answers that will be integrated into the S-Lady's voice assistant, according to people with knowledge of the matter. I always like that line. Apple has discussed also eventually adding the technology to its Safari web browser, Spotlight, which is used to search, of course, from its iPhone screen. Apple is aiming to release this service described by some executives as an answer engine, quote unquote, in the spring as a part of a long delayed overhaul test. Lady says, and the people who are asked not to be identified because, of course, plans haven't been announced yet. So he gets his inside words there. So, Marty, I'm gonna start with you. Where do you think Apple's going to go with this?
I'm really torn. I think I don't see them purchasing a company, and frankly, in order to do AI, you have to have a lot of servers, you have to have a lot of energy, you have to have a lot of upkeep, and that seems like those kinds of services they would outsource and have it more of a pick your meal when you get on your iPhone or get on whatever. What services do you want to have besides the connection to ChatGPT? And that could be part of, Apple One services or something like that. But I just don't see Apple putting a lot of resources into the physical development of an AI platform to beat the other ones. It's just it's an expensive proposition. It's a not necessarily carbon neutral in what it does, and I think they'd rather just make relationships, make deals with some of the people that are already doing it, and then incorporate it. Now, this latest venture sounds like it's another layer to the S Lady that is sort of like the encyclopedia for the S Lady. I think the S Lady's learning a lot. I can tell you, I've had more success with her in CarPlay. I've also had more requests from her to say, "Is it okay if I check that out with ChatGPT?" So it's handing off that stuff. He or she is handing off that stuff to ChatGPT, but I think it's also learning the kinds of things that its users are interested in. So I don't see this as a full-fledged LLM, this new model that they're talking about adding on to it. I think the LLMs and the other AIs are going to be things that Apple will basically, again, have agreements with certain companies to do things on their behalf.
Yeah.
So, Kelly, you have thoughts?
Well, aside from here's the thing. I agree with a lot of what Marty said. It's not super environmentally friendly. I don't think Apple's really in the best position to be doing this. They never have been, and this doesn't have anything to do with Apple's never first to market with any of this kind of stuff. But I want to point out that Apple does still own an entire hydroelectric plant in Oregon for the express purpose of powering a data center here. I could see them doing more of that. Absolutely 100%. Wind power for data centers, solar power, hydroelectric power in this case, for data centers, because it powers at least a couple of data centers they've got here in Oregon. So I think now, what they do with that, how successful it is, that's not the kind of stuff that shows up in the earnings calls or anything. So we don't hear a lot about it. But I think there's a certain amount of that they would continue to do if they found, let's be honest, if they found the right way to do it so that it looks good, so that they're not the people that you hear about in all of the very concerning AI think pieces about the amount of environmental damage and the amount of resource allocation that has been given over to all of this. So, aside from that, the thing that I really wish Apple could be smarter about on a much higher level, not just with the assistant, is knowing when to team up with someone else and maybe use Google Maps until it makes sense to build maps ourselves, and we know it's going to suck rocks for a couple of years and then actually turn it into something good. And the assistant has been around for so long and has not been a great experience for so long, and even as it continued to evolve and tried to do better and have better answers and ask better questions, it still feels like it's maybe better about asking other LLMs or other AI models some of those questions and handing them off. But the basic stuff that it used to be able to handle for me fails. Like random different pieces of it fail on a regular basis all the time. And so I personally don't find it reliable anymore. It used to be one of the only ones I could use because it recognized my decidedly feminine voice effectively. And a lot of initially when we got when I tried out the other assistants, they couldn't understand anything I was saying. And so having something that could understand what I told it was fantastic. But now, a thing I have asked it before, what will the weather be tomorrow? What's the forecast for this weekend? Who won this basketball game? Basic things that have been handled with no issue before. Now it's now playing Duran Duran. What are you doing? It's turned into the jokes about the AI kind of assistants that, we used to get when they were very new and kind of clunky. And so I'm not sure what's going on with the assistant at this point, but I would really like if they would at least team up with others and make it possible for people to use Gemini if that's what they want to do, OpenAI if that's what they want to do. At least, I know we've got that with Chat GPT, that there are ways that you can do that now in the next version. I think in the betas it works now. But being able to hook into those other things and make people aware, obviously, of the data usage that comes out of that, but making those something a little more useful, I think, is much better.
Jill, you'll be the last person on this topic. What do you think?
All right. First of all, I read an article this last week, and it wasn't done by someone who is an advocate one way or the other, that said that AI has become much better for the environment. I mean, it's not going to be better for the environment, but not less worse because of the nature of the chips and everything else. So it isn't as bad as it used to be. It's, and I'll try to find the article. Yeah. So I'm hoping that is the case. But here, I was thinking about it this afternoon, looking at this article. You had something, Kelly, there, that there are two ways that people use AI. Redesign my, think deep, do this thing. I just watched the thing from Tiago Forte. Here's 70 different things I've written. Now understand me better, kind of thing. That's some things that some people do. But what most people end up doing is like what I did today. I just found a box of hand sanitizer. Does that go bad? What order, when can I bring in my plants? Or, and you're right. If you shaved off all the search engine stuff, which is not as hard, it doesn't have to do a deep dive. It'd be very, very easy. It'd make Siri great. It would work for CarPlay. I think you win 60% of the AI game. And that is how Google has been stealing all our information for all these decades and building these profiles on us. And I think if Apple says, if I could just protect this portion of my people's life, that's good enough for now. And that'll be enough for right this moment. And then we do something for the higher stages. So,
All right. So let's go ahead and move on to our next topics here. We are going to talk about the Opera browser on iOS. They made some updates aimed to end Safari tab management woes. Opera is making a bold claim about fixing one of mobile browsing's most persistent annoyances, is tab overload. The company its latest Opera 1 for iOS has update has introduced what it calls the most advanced tab management system on the platform. And what it sounds like is a concerted effort to target Safari and Chrome users drowning in dozens of open tabs. The Norwegian browser maker has rolled out several desktop-inspired features to the mobile, including customizable grids, list layouts, and better tab visualization, as well as users who can now organize tabs into color-coded groups for keeping work projects separate from their vacation planning on shopping comparisons, for example. So, looked like Opera is getting really into doing some tab attacks, right, Ben?
Yep. This actually looks pretty interesting from the article.
Mhm.
I have downloaded the browser. I'm going to be checking out tonight to
Yeah.
see if its claims are kind of anywhere based in reality.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. How about you, Marty? Have you even do you use the browser? Have you used Opera at all?
I use browsers and I use a lot of Chrome over Safari on my phone. And the thing that I actually hate is one of the things they show in this article, the idea that I don't know how many things I've got open or sitting in the background until I look down in the little corner and I see the little tab and I hit it. And then it's like close, 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 close. I
3 hours
just,
later.
yeah, right. So if this Opera One allows that to be managed in an easier fashion than either what Safari does or what Google Chrome is doing, I will be using that as my default on my iOS.
Yeah. Oh, you tell.
Well, on my laptop, I am team Vivaldi for most things because I like the tab management of it. And Brave wants to get you into crypto, and their CEO is not the best, and so I kind of don't want to promote them. Um, Mozilla's getting really weird with how they're trying to sort of creatively endeavor to make money, so I'm kind of not jazzed about that either. But so mostly I use Vivaldi, and if there were an iOS version of Vivaldi, I would move to that. The thing that I think is the most entertaining in this is that they talk about managing dozens of tabs. So if all they can do is manage dozens of tabs, they're still not the browser for me because you can only have 500 tabs open in Safari on your phone. Ask me how I know. I do not like the management. I would like it to be better. Absolutely, 100%. I would like if tab management were better on Safari. But yeah, if all you're going to give me is dozens of tabs, that's cute. I have several internets open in tabs at all times, and I dozens isn't going to cut it. I remember there being a couple of odd things about Opera previously because it was one I used for a little while, and I can't remember. There was something about like um some sort of vulnerability or something, and they sort of downplayed it like it wasn't a big deal, and it actually ended up being a big deal. Um, and I'm more unhappy about how they handled it than that it happened, because they weren't upfront about it and said go like this until we can fix it or anything like that, and it was kind of weird. Um, but that memory is kind of hazy, but I feel like it was last summer. So I would be interested in better tab management, which I know is not coming to Safari, but I'm not sure if Opera is, at least for me, my own personal answer, because those are my emotional support tabs and I need them open all the time.
Yep. So, you got the last word? Oh, Jill?
Sorry. I used Opera on I think 3 or 4 different occasions, and every time I was just less than like, yeah, it's okay. And I use Brave now, but I'm considering going back to Safari just because I think Safari is getting better and some of the complaints I had are gone. So I am working my way back towards Safari. I don't use Chrome and I don't like Edge, and so I'm sort of like in the Kelly spot where I sort of backed myself into a browser corner, I guess, and so I don't know. I'm not going to use it again. I've tried too many times, and I remember that leak issue, and I just am nothing overwhelming to say use me. So
Yeah. So let's move on here. Ecobee. I have an Ecobee thermostat. I actually like it a lot. They announced this week that there's going to be a smart security home monitoring system that now works with Apple's Home app across devices like the iPhone, the iPad, and the Mac. This integration shows allows you to view and change modes, stay, away, and disarm directly from an Ecobee smart thermostat tile on the Home app, or use the S-Lady's voice commands on an iPhone or iPad. Can also create HomeKit automations such as arm at certain times like 10 p.m. or disarm at 7 a.m. and receive push notifications for mode changes. Uh, Ecobee's smart thermostat premium connect as a security hub, eliminating the need for a standalone home security device. Thermostat that can be paired with Ecobee cameras and sensors, providing you with alerts for unexpected motion and entry, reminders to arm your home, smoke alarm detection, and so on and so on. It's got their smart security plan, and of course, you want to have a security plan to pay $5 a month for, or $10 a month if you want 24/7 professional monitoring. So, I guess another Ecobee now into the security world. What do you think on this, Party?
I have an Ecobee. I don't do home automation or home security.
Mhm.
I mean, we do have home security, and but I don't think necessarily connecting the two right now is where I want to
Yeah.
go with it.
Okay. So, Kelly?
I do actually do a fair amount of smart home automation and such. I My house has a security system that is able to be armed remotely through my phone, but is not. It doesn't rely on anything, and I don't have a subscription or anything for a monitoring service. So I'm less interested in this. And part of that is because one of the first smart thermostats that was the Nest that then became the Google Nest, that is the Google smart home thermostat, was mining all of that data, and they kept making add-ons for it so that they could mine data about when people are home and when they're away and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of don't want those two things to be able to talk to each other. Um, for something lightweight, and if I sat down on a free weekend and read all the data reports and stuff like that, maybe I would be less concerned about it. But for a basic thing of like, I'm not home and I want to make sure that the alarm is set, this might be a pretty good plan for people who don't have something set up alternatively.
Mhm. And Jill?
I had Nest back before Google, and I had this very sophisticated system set up that it would text me. It would text my friend if a smoke alarm or a CO2 detector went off. And it was primarily that I used it for, but it was pretty sophisticated. It was really nice, and it would alert me anywhere. And then Google bought it, and I'm like, nope, I'm out. So I went to Ecobee, and I really liked what I still have it, and I really like it. And this, when I read that article today, I was like, I think I'm gonna do this. I really want to do this because not so much I don't have all the things on my windows and doors and everything else like that, but it would be nice to reconnect all my fire alarms and smoke detectors and other types of things, so water detectors if they go that direction, so I'm intrigued.
Yeah, the monitoring of that kind of stuff, like smoke alarms and water, like leak detectors and that kind of stuff, that stuff is super useful. And so far there aren't a lot of good smart solutions for it. Like, it's real easy to tell when that stuff goes off when you're home, but when you're not, the options that are both reliable and uh making a reasonable demand on somebody's technical skills in order to get them running appropriately is really hard, and there aren't a ton of good options. So if this is even a a less bad option, it will be miles ahead of lots of other
Yeah.
things.
Right.
For people who aren't familiar, one of the great things about the Ecobee is that you can give it little outposts in other parts of your house so that you can help manage the temperature in the whole house. So if you, for example, live in a place where the afternoon sun beats on half of your house, but you're not upstairs during that time, you can put outposts up there and say, I don't care what temperature it is up there until later because nobody's home. And then uh, work with, and you can like hook up to the power company and get rebates and things for people who don't know. Those are pretty great.
Yeah, I have a bird in a window, and so during the day, I worry about him getting too hot or too cold, and so during the day, it monitors him, and at night, it's fine for him, it monitors me, and it automatically, switches over, and I love it.
Yeah. It's
I
as a
have
thermostat system, they're great.
Yeah, I have one of those little monitors you're talking about, Kelly, in my office here because I have so much equipment that it gets much hotter than the rest of the house. And if you go down and you look at it, it's so cool down there. No, let's check my office and see how warm it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Ben, you get the last word.
I didn't have the thermostat taking on Brinks on my bingo card today, but here we are, and I'm intrigued. Look, like it's been said, your power or gas companies usually have a pretty decent rebate for Ecobee products. So, yeah, get it through the power company. Then Ecobee has a bundle price on all the accessories. And Ecobee has always been quality stuff right from the beginning.
Yep.
They are a company that I would have no problem relying on. And hey, Apple, since they don't ever have to worry about privacy, why don't you just buy them?
Okay, then I would happily recommend their alarm system to people.
For sure.
As a footnote, since we talked a little bit about Ecobee, I will point out that I've teamed up my Ecobee with vents from a company called Flare. And they're at flare.co. And it makes it, you buy new vents, and then the vents will open and close to help control the air depending on what you're doing. Because why engineer a solution when you can over-engineer it? So those are really nice. They're really nice. So like during the right parts of the day, certain ones open and close because like there's parts of my house that have a tendency to be warmer, parts that have a tendency to be cooler, and this helps push the air around to be where it's supposed to be.
Kelly, you've cost me so much money today.
I do try.
I was thinking that too.
Yes.
It's not even a gift guide.
Not yet, anyway. All right. Two more quick stories before we wrap up. Instagram has finally come to the iPad. As hell frozen over. Instagram app is now expanded to the iPad at long last, with Instagram releasing a dedicated iPad app this week. Actually, it was yesterday's record. It focuses on Reels, and when opening up the app, it will go directly to the Reels page. Stories will be available at the top of the interface with support for messaging as well. There's a dedicated following tab that provides different filtering options. All will display recommended posts and Reels from accounts you follow, while friends will show recommended posts from accounts and you follow and that follows you back. The latest option will show chronological posts from Reels and such. I don't know how active anybody here is with Instagram, but good to see they finally did it. I don't know what they were waiting for. What do you think, Kelly?
I think it's about time. Now that I am managing more than one Instagram account and managing it for on a a professional is a really strong word, but managing it on a vaguely less personal basis and slightly more businessy basis, I guess. I'm really glad about this because it has been a not great experience to try to make the best of it on literally any other screen. And there are times when the management piece of it could really use a bigger screen, and that still isn't all that great. So I'm really hopeful that maybe this will make some of that a little easier.
Marty, do you use Instagram?
I never got on the Instagram bus because I never felt a need to post what I was eating for lunch every day, or pictures of what I was eating for lunch every day.
I don't post it every day, Marty.
I just can't get into the look at this here, this where I'm doing, and then look at this. That's just not my narrative. That's just not my narrative. So I just never got into it.
Yeah. Okay. Jill?
I wanted to love Instagram because I'm into photography, and there's a lot of great photography on Instagram. And then all my people joined, quit, tried it again, quit, and it just feels 10 years too late. It just feels 10 years too late, and I just don't know that I'm going to go back again, and I don't know the people I used to follow are going to go back again. It just feels so late.
Yeah. All right. Last story here tonight. We wanted to talk about Netflix. Netflix Moments feature gets a major update for scenes sharing on iOS. It has announced an update to the Moments feature that lets users save and share favorite scenes as standalone clips available now in the streaming service's iOS app. Enhanced feature replaces the bookmark style system, and instead allows you to set both the start and the end points while saving scenes, giving you more precise control of what portions of a scene you want to preserve. Previously, users could only mark a beginning timestamp, which was basically like creating a viewing reminder rather than a shareable segment. You can access this updated feature by tapping the clip button while watching on mobile devices. The interface now displays drag handle controls, so you can control over the film strip and customizing clip length, while tapping save takes you to the usual options of sharing a moment. They added this because they wanted to had launched up an update alongside the Wednesday's show, the show Wednesday on season 2, part 2, so fans can have a way to capture those auto replays and the favorite moments of that new series. What do you think, Ben?
Well, Netflix, if you would add Apple TV integration, I might actually still remember your app exists.
Right. There you go.
What Ben said.
What Ben said.
Well said. What Ben said. Kelly. Marty.
Yeah, people do this. I mean, when I get these kinds of things, it's like, you ought to see this scene. It's like, nah,
Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, it's so bad at this point. I can't even get myself to watch Wednesday, and that's like the show I've been waiting for my entire life.
Oh my gosh. So with that, before we wrap up, I wanted to make sure I mention the MacStock Digital Pass. MacStock has asked us for 2025 is wrapped up. We had such a blast, but you can relive the moments that happened at MacStock with the Digital Pass. There's a link in the show notes that you can pick up that Digital Pass for a very affordable price. Go to MacStockConferenceandExpo.com or use our link in the show notes and check it out and purchase that, support MacStock. And we want to be able to keep MacStock going, which we will, because next year it's going to be MacStock 10 years of MacStock. It's going to be crazy. That's going to be the dates are July 10th, 11th, and 12th, 2026. So you got a lot to look forward to. But meanwhile, take a look at the Digital Pass, purchase it, and enjoy some of the great presentations that Marty and Jill and I did, as well as many others. We'd love to have you. So with that, let's go ahead and wrap up for this week. That's a wrap for this week. Please send your comments, questions, and suggestions to our email address, which is feedback@intouchwithios.com. You can follow us on Blue Sky and Mastodon at InTouchWithIOS. I want to send thanks to Ecamm Live for our new production tools. We're having a blast, and it's a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun production tools. So check out ecamm.com if you're interested in that. Support the show by buying me a coffee at intouchwithios.com/coffee. We'd really appreciate it. You can become a patron of the show by going to patreon.com/intouchwithios. We have 2 tiers available to support the show. We would really appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you're notified when we're live streaming, which is Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/intouchwithios. Where we had a great chat this week with Cletus and Brian F. Stopped in briefly, so the Web Bixby. So we love to have you folks there for joining us live. So it's always a lot of fun. We will leave the new live streams up with this great production, as well as you'll be able to listen to past shows. We also are now streaming on Facebook as well as LinkedIn, so you have a couple other options as well to live stream with us. You can check that out. Visit In Touch with iOS magazine on Flipboard, where many of the topics we discuss are flipped in that magazine. The link is in our show notes. You can subscribe to the show in your favorite podcatcher, including Pocket Casts, Overcast, Apple Podcasts, and many others. But better yet, go to intouchwithios.com, where all the links to all the ways to listen to us are on that site. I am Dave Ginsburg, and you can find me on Blue Sky and Mastodon at DaveG65. And I'm going to start with Kelly Guimont. It's so great that you made it back. We really missed you and hope we can have you back again. Where can people find you?
Well, the reason you've not been able to find me here is because I have band practice on Thursday nights most of the time. So, in fact, the reason I do not have practice tonight is because we have a show tomorrow night. So we took tonight off because we practiced last night instead. So it is a Susie and the Banshees tribute band. So if you want to see Kelly with a full wig installed, wearing all, and I mean all, of the eyeliner, you can find us on the aforementioned Instagram. Now that you've got it installed on your iPad, you can see those pictures even larger. That's a terrible proposition. Over at precious.machinery. If you're local and watching this live, you can find us at Swan Dive tomorrow night as one of the bands celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Cure album, The Head on the Door. We are playing, shocker, with a Cure tribute band tomorrow night as well. Hi, Rob. And the rest of the time, you can find me sometimes keeping off on Mastodon and occasionally over on the Incomparable Network, where I lend my opinion on various pop culture sorts of things and occasionally play a game show for people's entertainment.
Great. So glad you're here, Kelly. Thank you so much. Marty Jencius, thank you for being here. Where can people find you?
You can find me, Jencius, Jencius, at mastodon.social, or also at Blue Sky under that same name. Products and things that I do, you can find at thepodtalk.net. And, of course, Thursday nights here with Dave, Tuesday nights with Chuck on Mac Voices. And then Monday nights, the show that we do,
right?
In Touch with Mac Voices, yeah.
Yes, the In Touch with Mac Voices show.
Yeah. Okay. You might want to listen to Vision Profiles on Monday night or pick it up later in the feed. Dave's on there and Eric's on there, and we cover all things Vision Profile and AR VR starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can pick it up on the web later or as part of a podcast. And check out thepodtalk.net. I have some hidden Easter eggs in there of things that are going to be coming soon.
Great. Thank you so much, Ben Roethig. So great to have you back, and we're not working nights, and you're here with us now. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Ben Roethig on your social media choice. You can find my writing and ravings, if I ever choose to write again, on RoethigTech.com. You can also find me on such shows as the aforementioned Mac Voices Live, as well as the Mac and Big shows on the Big Tech Network, and for the Mac show, Keynote Poker tomorrow.
Yes, sadly I'm going to miss it. You guys are going to have fun. Jill McKinley, thank you always for being here. We appreciate it. Where can people find you?
I have a podcast, Start with Small Steps, and Buzz Blossom and Squeak. They're both podcast and YouTube, and generally you can find me all places. Jill from the North Woods.
All right. And thank you for watching. I think we had some great chats in the YouTube chat tonight. Thank you for listening. We're going to come back next week, and we'll have all the post Apple event discussion coming up at that point. But until then, thanks for watching, and thanks for listening, and we'll talk again soon.